Yeah, we gotta talk about the Stranger Things 5 documentary, man, because what is this? So yes, guys, if you didn't know, Stranger Things and Netflix just released a documentary for the making of Stranger Things Season 5, and people aren't happy. Not at all. There's a lot of stuff in the actual documentary that people are pissed about. There's a line in there where they're talking about the abyss, and one of the writers talks about how there should be demogorgons, demobats, demodogs, and Ross Duffer or Matt Duffer's like, like that's all he says is and then they didn't add that. They didn't add the demogorgons, they didn't add the demodogs, they didn't add the demobats, and that's kind of one of my pet peeves, I guess, with the finale episode is there should have been more in the abyss. There should have been more monsters. There should have been demogorgons. Like, obviously the show started with demogorgons, okay, so like it originated with the demogorgon, so why wouldn't you have a demogorgon in the finale? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And there's a bunch of other like evidence in the documentary that's like, okay, what are we doing? Also, people are like confused if they use ChatGPT to write some of the finale or write some of Stranger Things 5, and I don't think that's the case. I don't think that is ChatGPT on the photos that everyone's thinking. I really don't think they would use ChatGPT. I mean, maybe for something, but like really ChatGPT, I don't, it's not that big of a deal for me. Like, yeah, AI sucks and it's stupid, but like if they did, I mean, they did. That's just how it is. Like, you can't like argue about it. You just have to go into it with a, okay, cool. And so that's another thing that they were using ChatGPT. I don't know if that's 100% true, but if it is, that sucks. But still, the thing that like confuses me is why don't you have the demogorgons in the finale? Okay, that's one of my biggest things. Okay, if you did use ChatGPT, why? Like, why? We have good writers for this show. Like, haven't we learned from the past seasons that the writers are pretty fucking good? Like, huh? And then there was another thing where they weren't even finished with the script when they started. So the writers weren't done with the end of season 5, and they just kind of started episode 1, and they weren't done with the script yet. And that's kind of a thing, kind of like a Game of Thrones thing, I think. Like, Game of Thrones didn't have a book for the last season, and it turned out shit. It turned out not good. It wasn't good at all. And season 8 and season 7 were weak as fuck because there wasn't a book and there wasn't a finished script. And actually, I don't know about the script part, but there's a books for each season of Game of Thrones, and they didn't have a book done. It's one thing to, you know, have the script and go back and fix things and stuff like that, but when you don't have the script done and you're starting the finale or you're starting the season, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? All in all, though, I actually did enjoy the documentary for the most part, other than those few little things. I think that the documentary was cool to see all the final moments of these characters, every storyline wrap up, and kind of the actors' thoughts behind the scenes and stuff like that. It was really emotional, especially the very end where Finn Wolfhard kind of takes the mic and like, and starts kind of talking to the cast and crew and everything like that. It's emotional. These characters have been at it for 9 years, 10 years, and you know, I've loved talking about Stranger Things for the past like month and a half. It's been insane, Stranger Things content. Just in general, talking about the show, the volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, and then having the whole Conformity Gate situation, which was really fun. I enjoyed it, talking about Conformity Gate, because obviously it wasn't real, and we knew that. I mean, some people didn't, but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the documentary. I enjoyed it. I like a lot of the moments. There's obviously some things that I wish they would clear up, but they probably won't ever because it's over, it's done. Time to close the chapter and move on to the next thing. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the Stranger Things 5 documentary. One last adventure. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching all my Stranger Things videos. I love you all so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.